Secretary of State Alexi Giannoulias. When is this Real ID thing finally final?
We are 1 year out from the federal Real ID compliance deadline. And yes, TSA, federal government has let us know that this will be the last deadline. I know that this deadline is viewed with skepticism, rightfully so. It keeps on getting pushed back. 16 years have gone by since the federal government first announced this initiative. But it's time for people to get their Real ID. We don't want to have people dealing with issues come a year from now, not being able to get on planes, et cetera.
Would a passport suffice?
Yes, you can still use a passport. But again, we encourage folks to get their Real ID so that there are no issues. A lot of people don't have them. A lot of people don't want to, and a lot of people don't think about bringing their passport when they go and hop on a domestic flight.
Yep.
So you will not be able to board a domestic flight without a passport or a Real ID.
And when you get the Real ID, Alexi, I'm sure you would encourage everybody to go online and bring the proper documentation, because when I went, and by the way, there was no line when I went and did it, so thank you for that. Everything's moving along quickly and promptly, but there were people in line who didn't bring anything or just brought one form of ID. There are clearly certain things you can and cannot bring to verify your identity.
Yes, that great point. So thank you for saying that the lines weren't there. We have worked tirelessly to implement our Skip the Line program. We do not want people to wait in line at the DMV. We are trying to change the entire culture. But yes, you have to bring documentation. The federal government requires a decent amount of documentation. That's not us. That's on them. But please check out our website, and you need a proof of identity, proof of Social Security number, 2 forms of proof of your residency, verification of your signature. So it's a lot, but when you get it done, you're good. You're good for life. So check out ilsos.gov. We've tried to make it as easy as possible, realid.ilsos.gov. We have an interactive checklist to make sure that everyone has everything they need before visiting.
Yeah, and the ilsos.gov website looks great. Mm-hmm. It's easy to navigate. It's 1,000% improvement. I had to get rid of my dot matrix printer because it no longer syncs with it. But you have, one of the things you campaigned on and said, look, we're going to get into the 21st century, whether we like it or not here. Mm-hmm. So talk about making appointments. Who needs them? How do you get them? And what do we need them for?
So you will need an appointment for Real ID to make an appointment and go to a facility. I'm proud of that for the first time ever. Not only do we have this interactive checklist, we're also getting Real IDs done at our express facilities. So we're trying to make this as easy as possible. And as far as the website overall, we have a completely revamped website. We now offer it in 130 languages. It is part of our overall modernization plan. You may have seen a couple weeks ago, we announced for the first time ever, we've introduced an electronic notary system. We're looking at mobile driver's license. We've worked really hard to implement our Skip the Line program. We've added almost all services within the office online. So we're doing everything we can to modernize the entire office.
But are there services that are appointment only?
Yes. Some, for example, you have to take your vision test at the facility. Driver's tests have to be done at the facility. But I will tell you, we've been working really hard to talk about our stay-at-home program. Almost 50% of the people who come to a facility do not have to come. They can do everything online, from getting their vehicle stickers through a QR code, through just renewing online, through the mail. So we're really trying to make sure people don't even have to visit a facility. For example, I went to get my Real ID, but if you're a safe driver, you shouldn't have to go for 12 years.
See, that's awesome.
What's the cost of a Real ID?
Real ID is the exact same as a license or a regular ID.
$30, yeah. And again, it was quick, it was fast. Alexi, you mentioned the mobile driver's licenses. I know you've been completely modernizing the office. How close are we in Illinois to having the mobile driver's licenses?
Not as it's not going to happen anytime very soon.
Okay.
We just have to pass legislation and then the technology. But we're working really hard on the underlying infrastructure to make it possible, and that's completely changing an antiquated and dangerous IT system. Our IT system is prone to cyber attacks, so we've worked really hard to secure that first, get the infrastructure, and then work on things that I'm excited about. For example, next month we're going to have, for the first time ever, electronic car titles. Right now, if Steve sells me his vehicle, it could take me up to a month and a half to get a title. With our new system, people can have their title within an hour.
That's great.
We're also going to be announcing something that I'm very excited about in the next, hopefully, month, maybe sooner. We're going to have these kiosks around the state of Illinois. They're essentially like ATM machines where you can use Secretary of State services, get a vehicle sticker, get your license. The technology is really incredible, and we're finally trying to catch up here in the Secretary of State's office to what's happening across the country. So there's a lot of really exciting things, but all of that is secondary to making life easier for those who have to go, and making sure as few people as possible have to even visit a facility.
Yeah, IllinoisSecretaryOfState.org is the website, and truly make an appointment. Get the Real ID. You got a year ahead of time. You can get that full interview with Alexi Giannoulias at our website, WLSAM.com. But as I said, remember, Nick, I told the story about I went the first time and I didn't have the right identification.
Right.
You need either your passport,
birth certificate, Social Security.
Exactly. And you need a bill with your address on it, like from ComEd or Peoples or NICOR or whatever it is, but you need something with your current address on it. And that's the one thing that I didn't have, a bill or just, something from a utility.
Right.
So you go, you make the appointment, and once you're there, you're in and out. I mean, I think I was there 15 minutes.
Oh,
probably took me longer to find parking.
Yeah, right.
Than it did.